Hey everybody, it's Mike DiLisio, and today I'm going to be reviewing Shallow Regrets from designer and artist Justin Cowan and publisher Button Shy Games. Shallow Regrets is a micro-game version of a larger game called Deep Regrets from the same designer and artist. And the game is essentially about fishing, but not really the fishing you might be used to. Let's head on down to the table, I'll show you how this game plays, we'll come back here and I'll let you know what I think. Shallow Regrets is a game made up of 18 cards, and to set up, you're going to shuffle those 18 cards, and then you're going to deal them into 6 3-card piles that are called shoals. You do have to make sure that at least 3 of the shoals have a 0 on the top. This is a small shadow, and if you don't, then you have to reshuffle until you are going to do that. What these numbers on the cards tell you are a range of what it might take strength-wise to catch these fish. So these zeros mean that you don't have to have any strength to catch them, which is good because everyone starts the game with 0 strength. Here you know that the fish are going to be between 1 and 2 strength to catch, and here you see 3 to 5. The gameplay is very simple. On your turn, you're going to draw 2 cards, one at a time. You're going to potentially catch 1 fish, if you have the strength to do so and want to do so, and then you're going to throw back whatever you don't catch. There are small rules on throwing back, which I'll talk about in a moment. But let's say on a first turn, a player is going to look at this card, they're going to try to catch this card, and it's going to tell them a few things. Number one, it's going to tell you what it is. It's a foot, all right? It's going to tell you what the strength is needed to catch it, 0, as we know. It's going to tell you if it is a fair or a foul fish. This is foul. It's going to tell you a point value that will be added to your score if you have it in your tableau at the end of the game, and it's going to give you potentially a number of hooks. Finally, there is a ability that you can trigger once per game by turning the card 90 degrees. All right, so let's say I looked at this one and then I looked at this one. Okay, so I have these 2 cards. Because they take 0 strength to catch them, I could catch either of these cards. And so what I might be thinking about is, well, this one would give me -1 strength, but it's going to give me 2 hooks, which is 2 strength that I can use on a later turn to catch a fish. Maybe it's worth taking that -1 point. Or maybe I just take this one. It's a fair fish. It gives me 1 hook, and it gives me an ability I might want to use. The ability on the foot is you can give this to somebody else. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will go ahead and I will take that foot and put it in my tableau. Now I'm going to throw back because you can never catch more than 1 fish per turn. When you throw back a card, all you have to do is place it face down on one of the shoals. However, if there's ever an empty shoal, it must go there first. And you cannot cover a small shadow unless there are no other shoals available. So I couldn't put it on there. I would maybe go ahead and put it on there. And then the next player would take their turn and they would do the same thing. On this player's next turn, they could do a number of different things. They can either do the ability, because that would be done before you go fishing, and then you would give this to somebody else, or maybe they're going to use the strength that they have to catch another fish. So they look here. They could catch this selkie because it needs a strength of 2, and they have 2. And they could catch this ever squid because it also has a strength of 2. So that's really how the game is going to go. You're going to proceed around the table clockwise, catching fish, triggering abilities, maybe moving cards around, and it's going to continue until all the fish have been caught, or if no player has the sufficient strength to catch the fish that are left in the shoals. That will trigger the end of the game. At that point, you're going to add up all the points on the upper left of your cards, whether they've been exhausted or not, and whoever has the highest score is going to win Shallow Regrets. Let's head back and I'll let you know what I think. All right, so there you have Shallow Regrets, a micro game that is based off of a bigger game called Deep Regrets. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to talk about the look and the theme of the game, because I think that was both a big draw for Deep Regrets, the game that this is kind of iterated from, and this game itself. Not a whole lot to the game. It's just a deck of cards. But when the art on each of these cards is so unique, so evocative, so much fun while still being slightly kind of spooky and maybe a little bit gross, but also kind of whimsical and fun. Justin, the designer and artist, I think really nailed it. And so if you liked the art and you liked the theme in Deep Regrets, whether you've played it or just kind of looked at it online, you're going to still get that here. And I think that that's very important because for the gameplay itself, it's very simple, right? On your turn, you're going to draw a couple of cards, maybe more if you have an ability, and then you're going to pick one. If you can catch it, you can catch it. They may have abilities that on later turns you can activate, and then you're just going to add up points at the end. It's very, very simple. And I think that that serves this particular game well, okay? The publisher Button Shy, they've been around for a number of years, and kind of their modus operandi is that you've got these 18 card designs. And I've played a bunch of Button Shy games over the years. I've reviewed several on the channel over the years. And typically they tend to fall into a couple of different camps. Sometimes the designers will take this constraint, this design constraint of 18 cards, and they will try some very ambitious things. And a lot of times that revolves around multi-use cards. So, where one card can fulfill 3, 4, 5 different things depending upon how it's played. It could be a resource, or it could be a building, or it could be, I'm just making this up, but you get the idea. Multi-use cards. And sometimes that's pulled off. But what I have found over the years is that, to me, the games, the Button Shy games that I have liked the most are the ones that have not tried to stray too far beyond the constraints of what 18 cards can do. Because while I have been impressed sometimes with the designs, I haven't always found them to be the most successful or fun. I think what Shallow Regrets does is it took a larger game, kind of condense it down to a core mechanic or mechanism, and made this that. And I think it did it very well, okay? I think that if they had tried to make this too much more than it is, it might have taken some of the fun factor away. And so I think that Shallow Regrets does have a good fun factor. It's not the widest decision space in the world. You have to be okay with some kind of take that-y type things in there because there are cards that allow you to affect other cards. There is some negative interaction in the game. But for as fast of a game as it is, so easy to teach, I don't find that to be particularly a problem. Shallow Regrets is a game that I'm going to recommend. I'm going to actually give this game a 7.5. But what I am going to do is something that's a little bit outside of the scope of what I normally do. I don't usually talk about expansions when I'm reviewing a base game, but I am going to talk about this one briefly because there is a mini expansion for this called Lingering Remorse that adds in some ongoing effect cards, okay? So it's just an extra 6 cards. And I think that if you add that, it would actually bump my rating up even to an 8. But I am just talking about the base game rating here as a 7.5, but if you wanted to get a little bit more out of this, that Lingering Remorse, I think, will do that. Because the biggest negative I have to this is just that as the base game, it might have a limited number of plays. Well, most games have a limited number of plays, but even more so because it is a smaller decision space, it is a smaller game. I don't think it's trying to be any bigger than that, but if you wanted it to have a little bit more legs, a little bit more to it, you can add that expansion in and I think you'll have that. Even if you don't, I think you're going to have a game that is very satisfying, especially for the form factor that this has and the price point that it has. I think that it's an easy game to recommend, especially if you had an interest in Deep Regrets or if you've already played and like Deep Regrets. All right, that's going to do it for me. This is Mike DiLisio. I will see you on the next one.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, We do top 10s. We play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.